Hi, all you yarny people out there. How are you today? Happy Monday. Hope everyone is well and had a great weekend, as did I. I have some projects I promised everybody. I'm almost through. It'll probably take this video and then maybe another one next week to finish off showing all the projects I've ever created with crochet in the last 6 years. So as I'm showing them, I'm not only showing them, I'm telling you a little bit about where I got them or how I constructed them or maybe how I changed the pattern or what I did special with that particular pattern that might be a special skill or change it up. So might give you some ideas on how to do that. So I wanted to show you, I've shown you before this on my mannequin here. This is by Heart Hook Home. Okay, as you well aware by now, I love her patterns, Ashley's patterns. And if you can believe, that pattern is the same as this pattern. I took her pattern for this particular shirt. If you go to my Ravelry page or Heart Hook Home's Ravelry page, and you'll see one like this that she had did in the same colorway, so it's easy to find. Look under projects, you'll see my project, and go under my projects under my Ravelry page from there, and you'll see 3 different ways that I've made this sweater. I made this one, I made this one, and I made another one for my mom. A little bit different. It's all in blues. Her favorite color is blue, so I did hers all in blue. So I made this one. It's turned out a little big on me because I was still losing weight as I made it, and I just wanted a cozy blanket type warm that I could wear kind of around the campfire in the spring and fall when it's a little cool. And I made thumb holes in this one. Hopefully you can see. And I just used a really nice thick yarn, and I think I used a smaller sized hook, so I had really tight stitches, and this has a little bit of wool in it to make it super cozy and warm. I will put all the info I can down in the description box down below for this. So if you want to know, this is a paid for pattern. Most of her patterns are paid for, except for the children's sizes are free. But most of them she has, which I love, is she has a YouTube video to go along with it. So the child sizes are free, and then you watch her YouTube video on how to make the child size, and then you just follow along and you just change it up for the adult size as according to the pattern that you purchase. So it might be a different amount that you have to chain or things like that, or how many rows you have to do, and you have to change it up. So, but to go from this to this, all like the front and back are, I'm trying to remember correctly here. All I really had to do was measure across my bust, and I took that in half plus an inch, so that for the overlap for the button. And so this side here has an inch more than this, or wait, maybe it doesn't. No, maybe it doesn't, because this overlaps this one. I'll have to think about that. I don't remember. That's why it's great to have a Ravelry notes page, so you can write down in case you want to do it again how you did it. Yeah, because this one would be longer because it goes over this one, but this one's tucked under, so maybe they're the same. So by the time this flap goes over here and this goes under here, it's the exact same width across from here to here and here to here. Does that make any sense? But I left a slit instead of finishing on, and then I made the other side. So, and then her pattern calls for 3/4 length sleeves, I believe it is, and I made like total long sleeves. And then I did I don't recall, no, see, the edge of her pattern just stops. There's no trim, and I did the trim part, like I think I did single front post, and then single back post, front post, back post, and then I just on halfway through, like I think on the 3rd or 4th row in, I just put the sweater on, so I knew where my thumb hole was going to go. So say I just haven't got to that part yet, I measured where my thumb would go and how wide here it would be and how many chains I needed to do. So I put my arm through, because if I didn't put my arm through the sweater, I might have ended up with a hole over here or something. So I had to put my arm through to measure. And then all I did was, looks like I chained 1, 2, 3, 4. I chained 5 and then went in the 6th single crochet across. And then I single crocheted all the way back around. And then I started doing the front post, back post across the chain instead of going down here, so that it ended up with the hole. And I did it on both sides, and I love that I did that. And the length, so I could have it like this, and I made it also long enough that you could fold it up. I didn't really want to have it the length to fold it up, but it actually is bigger on me now, so it kind of falls off the thumb hole. As you see, it's kind of long. It might shrink a little bit in the wash. I haven't yet washed it, so oh my goodness, talking about my beautiful sweater, it's just so cozy. And that pattern doesn't have a hood either, and I made a hood for it. So I didn't put trim around the hood or anything. I might put a ribbon or something, or a chain around so I can tighten it, but I did put buttons all the way up to my neck so that it kind of closes it off a little bit. But if I was needing I would probably wear a hat anyway, not my hood. But the hood is very cozy with that wool in there. It's very, very cozy. So on to some projects. So here's, oh, my sign's out of the view. I like to leave that in there. Then I don't have to edit it to say Knotty Yarnies across the top, because I like to advertise the channel name so people remember what it's called, right? Here is a bunny. Now this pattern is a free pattern. If you have any questions, any of the patterns that you see that you'd like a link to, don't be shy. I look through my messages once every 2 days to catch up. So, and if I see a whole bunch, I'll go every day. It just depends on if I'm busy that day or if I've got a headache or something, but I will get back to you. So if you see a pattern link, or a pattern that you really, really would love, let me know, because I'll send you the link. It might be, I try to remember if they're paid for or not. Most of the time I do remember which ones I paid for, so I will let you know. And I'll also go on my Ravelry page and check out my project page. I try to add them, but I'm telling you, I make so many that it's hard to keep up with keeping them. Like every week I'm finishing 3 or 4 projects, so it's tough to keep them all in there. So this guy, what I did differently than the pattern is I make it with crocheted eyes. The pattern, I think, has safety eyes, and I prefer not to use safety eyes. And these are made with Bernat blanket yarn, and oh my goodness, they are so soft and squishy. There's a few, okay, there's a few I'll show you in a minute, a few more of those. I want to show you, here's a Loom knit cocoon set that I've made. This was 7 years ago that I made these. I didn't even crochet when I made this yet. So this is just made on the yellow sized loom. Starts with a K. Something loom set. I don't remember the name of the loom set, but the largest size loom that you get with the set of 4. And I made that, and then I made with the smallest loom, the baby hat. This is my first crocheted piece. One of my first, I think, of 10. It was just a little hammock for a photo shoot. So the baby wasn't going to be left on there and left alone. It was for a photo shoot, and I had didn't get in the picture, but I have a really, really long crochet tail, so you could wrap it around like a pole or a trees or something like that for the photo shoot. The woman actually ordered that for me and never did pick it up. I was quite upset about that, because nothing worse than you take the time to make something for somebody, use up some special soft yarn, you have no use for it whatsoever, but they don't even pick it up. So I have no use for it, and I've had it for 6 years now. Here's a pink one that I've made of that bunny. And there's a brown one, and there's the blue one up top. That's just You'll see how big they are. There's a pop can, and that shows you how large they are. I sold a lot of them at every year at Easter. I seem to go sell lots. There was also the time when you did the that scarf there that was going around with the braided scarf, I guess it was called. I've got it in green and I got it in gray, and I still have those because the person didn't pick those up. Sad but true. A little bunny set diaper cover. It was Easter. Yeah, here's another of the cowl. Doesn't matter, it's pretty, so I'll keep it. Little booby hat. That went out to a friend of mine. She was having her first grandbaby. Her daughter had ordered it for herself. She was breastfeeding, so when you put the hat on the baby, it looks like a boob. Kind of cute. It's a cute idea. Some slippers that I made. Some without. This is the one that's on my YouTube channel. Look under in playlists under slippers. This is the one without the cuff. And this is the one with the cuff. See, I pulled it down. I also added a little trim on that so it looks like a scalloped edge. A hat I made make look like snow. Oh, these are so finicky, eh? When you touch them. I made this. This here is a paid for pattern. So if you're interested, I'd have to find the link for you. That cost me $50 just to make that. It's made with really Thick and Quick, Lion Brand's Thick and Quick yarn, and it took like 5 balls or something like that. Like, it was quite expensive to make. One of the mermaid tails that were going around, except not as fancy. I just made one out of Bernat blanket. I don't have a link for this, as this is my own pattern. So if you're interested in me filming up that, let me know. There is lots of free patterns out there for ones similar to this anyway. You go on Mikey from the Crochet Crowd. He's got a shark one, I believe, or something similar. He's got like 7 or 8 different ones that you could choose from. Now, I don't know if there's a mermaid one per se, but they kind of, I thought they went out in style. So I'm pretty sure nobody's gonna want me to be bothered making one. Here's one of the little beards when that was going all around. Here's another one with pink camo. That one went on a little girl. She was like 6 months old. Oh, did it ever look cute. It looks so cute on her. Me and my husband, we bought, I created an Afghan for a friend of ours. My husband's known him since he was a little guy, and they're friends. And I've known him because I worked with one of his ex-girlfriends for many years. And he had his first child when he was, I think, 50 or over 50. And he's a little sweetheart. He's 4 now. And we brought him a little shower gift. So I believe I seen a video of him dragging it around his house, still using it. And it's made out of Bernat blanket yarn. So, and I just overstitched like a single crochet over top with his name, so it was really easy. Here's a setup that I had at one of my craft shows. I always showed how to use whatever it was, the towel holders. You might see over here the display. I used a little hand towel holder that you can buy. Like, I had all kinds of different display ideas and things like that. And I had baskets for my scrubbies, and then I had 3 or 4 different kinds of scrubbies and dishcloths. So they all were in different baskets to display them. That's More pictures. Okay. Here's a minion stocking I made. That's free on the internet. If you'd like a link, let me know. Did a from Frozen hat. There's another crocheted Bernat blanket, little girl's mermaid tail. Just a hat. That's made out of Charisma, either Charisma or Thick and Quick. I don't remember which one that was. Here's some of my towel holders, and showing that there's a towel on the towel holders. See all the different towel holders, and I use different buttons to coordinate. That's my own little pattern, and I will be filming that as well in the upcoming couple weeks. I did a couple videos that showed how to make the slippers and the hat, but I didn't find there was very few views. So I'm not sure if anybody's just not interested in the hat and the slippers patterns, or if people aren't really interested in watching those types of videos. So I'm not sure which it is. So I'm kind of going to watch the analytics on it, and if it stays low, then I probably won't do too many how-to videos, because it's not really worth my time if I'm only getting like 30 views and nobody really watching them. So if this more content is for yarn haul videos and yarn chat and showing different yarns and showing different projects that I'm working on and things like that, that's okay too. But I don't mind doing the how-to videos as long as there's people interested, because it kind of seems like it would be like me cooking dinner every night and nobody eating it. That would be silly to me continue to keep cooking dinner every night when people aren't going to eat it, right? So if nobody's going to be wanting to watch them, to learn along, then it would be silly for me to waste my time doing those when I could be working on something, another type of video that people enjoy. So let me know down below if you enjoy those, and I'll kind of go from there. So here's a cup cozy, or a mug cozy. These fit on my pattern. It fits on to-go mugs, and also fits on like regular mugs with a handle that you would use in the house. Some of my scrubbies, some more slippers. Oh, every time I try to swipe sideways, it disappears on me. I seen a pattern online for an R2-D2 hat, and I made this for my nephew for his birthday or Christmas one year, and I decided I just whipped it up from the picture. So that's pretty much what I did, came up with that from, because I don't know if I found another pattern and it was paid for, but I think what it was is I seen somebody else make one and I couldn't find a pattern anywhere. So I said, oh, I could make that. So I just created that from the picture. I don't sell that, so you know, that was just for my nephew, so I'm not taking somebody's pattern and selling the pattern or anything like that. Another mermaid tail blanket, Bernat blanket yarn, a Yoda hat, some more slippers. These ones are made with the Bernat blanket yarn. I hate that color. I think that color is pretty ugly, but they're cozy slippers though, so that's the reason they're made. This was, I believe, a paid for pattern, Selena Baca maybe, for I forget what the hat pattern's called. It was in the top of my head, but a pattern I made for a friend of mine's son with the anchor on it. I wanted ear flaps, and so I take my basic half double crochet hat pattern, and I found online a free tutorial for the anchor. I've also made this anchor on a baby blanket for a cousin who had a baby shower, and they were doing the baby room in all nautical themes. So I found the anchor, and I did a boat, a sailboat, and a couple other things on there, and I stitched them on the blanket. Oh, back to that again. These are two hats both made on a loom. Now you'll see a difference here. The one here is made on the regular Nifty Knitter loom. That's what it's called. The regular Nifty Knitter. This one here is made on the Martha Stewart one. So I put the smallest pegs in and I put them close together so that the gap is very, very minimal. And then I held 2 strands together for this hat. This hat is very stiff, but it's very, very warm. It's made with wool as well. So it's a very warm hat. Compared to the other one, you could kind of see through it. If you could notice, you could kind of see the holes through it. And a shark hat that I made. All different. Usually I just chain scarf. It's just basically I was practicing chaining, and then you make the little clasp here with a button to tie it on to give it a little accent. Oh, here's that blanket that I made with the Bernat blanket. This blanket took like 5 skeins of Bernat blanket just for that. But I don't like making a baby blanket just a tiny size. I like making it so it works for them up to being a toddler, so they can have it around till they're 4, 5, 6, around that. And then I always give the option, if you want me to add on to it when they're older, just let me know, give it back to me. The colors might be a little bit different, the shades could be a little bit different, but if you want to make it bigger, I'm game for that, because then it'll grow with them. So I enjoyed doing that. Nobody's taken me up on it yet though. Here's just a simple headband in a different color. These are adjustable headbands, my own pattern. So again, something if you're interested in me filming that, I can do that. And here's what it looks like on. Yeah, it's a very adjustable. So if it stretches a little bit, the buttons can just go in it's made with double crochets, so the buttons could just move over and they fit into the double crochet holes. Some dishcloths, another headband that I did, and in a charcoal gray. Oh, another bunny rabbit. Here's an Afghan I did for my niece. Her favorite colors are purple, green, and orange. And I just did 3 different shades of purple for the main part and 2 different shades of green for the outside trim. Made with a shell stitch. So I just followed a shell stitch blanket pattern and went from there. This is a infinity scarf that I made from Red Heart the landscape stuff is from Lion Brand, but the Red Heart one, Red Heart, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like the landscapes, but the Red Heart version. And this is what it is. And I made that for my son's fiance years and years ago, but I haven't seen it on her once, which is a shame. This cost me almost $50 to create for her, and she hasn't worn it. She likes black, and now she's starting to like colors and things, but she never did wear this. I've never seen her wear it anyway. It's upsetting when you make something, spend like dozens and dozens of hours on a beautiful creation, and you think of that person, and you know, it's disheartening, but it is what it is. It just hurts your heart a little bit. And I know people don't want to say if they don't like what you make, but at the same time, even if I didn't like something somebody made me, I would still make it a point to wear it when they're around, or to display it when they're around, or something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm weird. I don't know, but I would just try to find a way. That's just the kind of person I am. I would, anyway, on to the next. I had a cousin of mine message me and ask me for this pattern. It was she asked me for a giraffe scarf, and she's seen it on Facebook, and it's a paid for pattern, but she wanted it in browns. Like they had a horse that was in browns, but she wanted the spots, but she wanted pink bows. So she was actually putting it in a display case to hang on her wall, which I thought was very unique. And this went up north to Sudbury. So, and that's where it lives. So, this was for a baby shower for our little cousin. One of the gifts, because I ended up giving this and a dress and a hat and some booties. So, oh, here's what the scarf looked like around myself. Fun to look back at pictures of myself for so long ago. Here's a cute little picture. I did those little flip-flops that were going around Facebook a few years back. This lady ordered 5 different pairs from me. I don't know if I have a picture of all of them, but there's 1. There's 2. These were all free patterns. Oh, I must have a picture of all of them. Here's 3. Here's what those ones looked like, off for feet. And here's what is that the same one? Yeah, that's the same one. This one, I don't think I got a picture of it on her foot. I put the stuffing in there so the sides stay up for the photo, so you can tell. Yeah, so those were another pair and another pair. I made this for my son when he moved out and bought his new home, and my own pattern. I don't know, I just put a hair tie around the top and the bottom, and then I found a pattern online for the crocheted letters and did those, and then just stitched them on. Easy. So he uses that. I made my nephew, for the one I made the Yoda doll for his 13th birthday. This one was for probably his 10th, or yeah, maybe his 9th or 10th birthday. A Spider-Man Afghan. He ended up coming home. I don't know if I'll have a picture. I should have a picture. He ended up a few months later bringing me over it because he had a hole in it. One of his dog's nails got caught and it tore a hole in. So I looked at it and I had to sit on it for like 2 months, I think, because I couldn't figure out what to do because there was so many ends that were broken. So I knew I couldn't just crochet along it. I knew I had to tie those ends in knots. There was no way around it. They were little like this, and I couldn't have pulled it if I'm sure as crocheters, you know how much work it would have been to take it all apart and have to redo that. And the colors wouldn't have matched. So I thought of, finally after 2 months, I thought of something that would work, but I couldn't find anything out there. I thought of crocheting a spider, a flat spider with 8 legs, and I had to put one on the top part and one on the bottom part with the blanket in the middle so that you couldn't get to the knots. So I had to come up with my own pattern, and it had to be mirrored so the legs were the exact same place on both sides. And oh, did it turn out lovely. So I'm hoping I have a picture to show you of that, because it turned out really, really super. And I have yet to get a phone call all these years later that it's gotten another hole in it. So I did my oldest niece a mermaid tail blanket, but I did the original one that first started going around with all the shells, the really, really fine stitching. Let's see if you could, hope you can tell that. And boy, was that a lot of work. Oh my gosh. That took me longer than it takes me to make an Afghan, honestly. Yeah, it was crazy how long it took. Still waiting for a picture of my niece in it all these years later. I don't know, probably well, probably 6 years ago, because I just first learned how to crochet 6 years ago, and that's one of the first projects I made. So yeah, probably 6 years. Made quite a few Ninja Turtle hats. These are just repeat photos, I guess, of some of the ones I showed you. My goodness, I guess I almost load. It looks like I almost loaded everything for the second time. I apologize. Oh, I also do plastic canvas. I haven't did it in quite a while now, since I've been crocheting so much lately. But this is something I made for a baby shower for somebody. A friend of mine was having a little baby and doing all giraffes in the nursery. So I whipped that up. That takes a long time, those patterns. It's quite large. It's about 3 or 4 feet tall. Like, it was a pretty big project. I'm going to put that down because I'm going to scroll. Facebook is slow today for scrolling through. What I do is I have on my Facebook page, I have my photos of all my crochet works in a private file, so only I see. And so I put them all in there, and then I can look through them, so that I don't get bombarded either with people looking through them going, oh, I want that, or I want that, and then they hear the price and then they tell me no. They don't understand how much yarn costs. Yarn's not $1 a ball anymore, people. And it takes a lot of time to make things, so it doesn't just take an hour or two to create something. Like maybe a hat if you're really, really quick, but if it's any type of really special pattern, it takes you longer than a couple hours. Here's a little, I was commissioned to make a little hat and booties and a sweater set for someone local. Also, I was commissioned for a frog set, baby set. Also, a friend of mine, her mother crocheted her baby a bunting bag, but I don't know if something was wrong with her hands and she couldn't finish it up, or she just wanted somebody to finish it, so I finished that up for her. So it's hard after somebody with tension, because I tried with a larger hook and it was bigger, and then she didn't remember which size of hook she used, so I finished that up for her and put buttons down it for her. I made this for the friend that I made the booby hat for, the same baby. Actually, it might have been her second baby. No, it was the same baby. Yeah, a little penguin set. And then, oh, I have quite a few pictures of that. Oh, here's this. I should have put this on my Swiffer video, showing how it looks on the Swiffer. So I have a video showing you how to make these. So if you're interested, just go back to my playlist, look under tutorials, and it'll be under there. And here's the bottom side, of course, of the different color, because this one is blue. Those are very super easy, beginner friendly. Here's the one on the bottom of the wet jet. Because see the straps, the wet jet has just a little wee part here that goes under the lip, and then it has a sprayer in the middle. So it needs to be strapped on further up because it's a longer one. So, and I don't have a wet jet to show you on it. I had to look it up online, the dimensions on how to create the pattern. A bunch of dishcloths, knitted, crocheted. I've literally made thousands of dishcloths. Doorknob covers. So the baby's trying to get out. These you just make them a little bit looser, so when they can't get a grip and they just keep turning on them, and then you tie them in a knot right with the chain. You literally knot them so that they can't get them off, and then when it goes, you don't need them anymore, or they got dirty and you need to do more, you can just cut the chain off. I show them how to cut the chain, And then you could just use a ribbon and then tie the ribbon in a knot, just weave it in and out. So I show them how to do that. So I made quite a few of those. Here it is on the door. And I made soap bags, little, you put your favorite bar of soap inside, use cotton yarn, and it lathers up super, super nice. And it gets rid of all your dead skin. And oh, it's super lovely. I have one in my gym bag. Oh, there's a frog again. Little set of the hat and sweater. A little owl. I tested this for a pattern. There's lots of free patterns of those owl hats out there though. That one was a paid for pattern, but there's lots of free ones. There's open eyes and closed. She wanted me to make one of each. So I made one with open eyes, and then I didn't sew the eyes on, and then I made new eyes and put the closed eyes and just tack them in place and then center the photo of the one with the closed eyes. She didn't know any different. I wasn't going to make two of the same one when I had no use for baby hats. I also made, this is a paid for pattern. I believe it might be free as well. If you're interested, just let me know and I'll let you know then. But it's for a big head doll, that the head's so big on the doll that you put this hat on it, and the hat will actually fit your little baby too. So you could take it off the doll and put it on your child or your baby, your little one. Actually sold that at a craft show, so I don't have that. I knitted, oh, who has that? Very popular designer. Oh, it slipped my mind. You'll all know when you see it. The ponchos. Her daughter's like a blonde hair and does all her photos. She has the big, always the chunky items like for winter, the shawls, the cowls, the big hats, the ponchos. You'll know what I mean. She has a knitted version and a knit version of this poncho. There's the knitted version. Would you believe this cost me $40 plus to make, and I couldn't even sell it for $40. Like, honestly, knitting, and it took me like weeks to create this and knitted, and I couldn't even sell it for $40. And I paid more. I paid a little more than $40 plus tax for the yarn and buttons, and I couldn't even get that. Like, and I refuse. I'm like, I will keep it before I give it away for anything less than that. I made a friend of mine she wanted those baby moccasins that you just seen I showed earlier. She wanted the adult size. Needless to say, I got one done and it ended up being an inch too short. Did another one and it ended up being the right size, but it was just so hard and not fun. I never ended up finishing it. She ordered them like 4 years ago and I never did finish them for her. I feel so bad, but just, that's actually, if somebody was to ask me in an interview or something, say, what is the one thing that you did that you'll never do again? That would be it. It was not fun for me. I don't know. I had trouble where to put it, and people's feet are all different. And in order to go from left to right, the math it was different. On where to stick the crossers and things, you had to figure all that out, and it wasn't universal. Like, I couldn't make the exact same one for the other foot, and I had a hard time explaining that to her, but I'm so sorry. Yeah, I won't be making another one of those. Not my favorite. Again, some more of the same pictures. Don't know why. I guess I forgot I saved them, and I saved them again. Here's a fox hat and a scarf to match. The scarf goes right through his mouth. His mouth is double layered, so this is one layer, and then underneath is another, and you tuck the scarf through the center. That was a cute project. I made my brother, on one of the last videos, I told you that my brother owns a place called Joe's Family Pizzeria from the city where I am. And we always do the Christmas parade, the local Christmas parade, but this past year we couldn't because I think my husband's Christmas party was in Ottawa that year, and there's some reason. Yeah, I think his Christmas party was the same night that the Christmas parade was. Anyway, we couldn't do it, and my brother turned out he couldn't do it because he was so busy down at the shop and needed to work it anyway, but I made him the scarf to wear for the parades. So maybe this year he'll do the parade again, but it's a pizza slice scarf. This is by Chan. Oh, it was on the tip of my tongue. A, B, C, Connie Chan, no. D, E, F, G, I don't remember. Chan, anyway, if you look up Chan, she's the one that on Full House had Kimmy wears all the scarves, and they're her patterns. There's a cupcake one, there's an bacon and egg one that Kimmy's wearing in another season. This is one of her designs. It was fun to make. Here's a picture of me wearing it around my neck. So much fun. I loved that. I know this is a free pattern because I've made it twice. An owl scarf. Oh my gosh, I just loved that. That one I sold at my craft sale. Actually, both of them I sold at my craft sale. I was thinking one was for a customer that ordered, but... Oh, here is the poncho from the same designer, but in crochet. A friend of mine, the one that ordered the penguin outfit, got this for her granddaughter. So you can see quite a difference between the crochet and the knitted stitching, right? I mean, the crochet one doesn't take as long. It took us actually more material than the other one did, though. But it doesn't take as long to crochet as it does to knit. Here's the fox, one of the fox scarves around my neck to show you what it looks like. Some more of my slippers. Oh, good, I do have one. This is the Spider-Man blanket after I did the patchwork for my nephew. There's a spider. And I did ask him if he wanted his spider to have eyes or not. And he thought it looked more cool without eyeballs. So he said it looked more mysterious. So he chose that. Yeah, so he was happy with that. I made my son's best friend, her is a girl, and she, well, young woman, she's a married woman, and her mom and her husband had bought a cottage down on the East Coast. And the first thing she did when she bought the cottage was order an Afghan for me. From me for the cottage. So she was going to get one for each sofa chair in the living room. So she started off with one and brought it the first trip they went. So here's what it looked like. She chose the colors. Kind of remind me of the Green Bay Packers colors. Yeah, so she ordered that from me. I just charged her what the material was worth, because that's back when I just was not as busy, so I just kind of crocheted the squares as I didn't have orders here and there. And to me, it's like a form of medicine. Just to me, crochet is like a bottle of pills that I don't need. Like I don't mean I don't need the crochet. I need the crochet because it keeps me off of taking medication. Like I just find it's my happy pills, if you know what I mean. I'm sure a lot of you know what I'm rambling about, but you get what I mean. Crochet keeps me sane pretty much, and keeps my mind busy, occupied, and off of the negative things. I sold a lot of these Pokemon hats and Pokemon balls. I sold those balls for $5. I had a basket full at my craft sales, and I tell you, the basket went like crazy. They cost me probably less than $1 each to make. Took me a couple hours to make, but sold them for $5 and they just went like hotcakes. The kids just loved them. Oh, here's a little teddy bear I made for our little cousin. Everybody says he reminds them of Mr. Bean's bear, whatever his name was. But there's the water bottle showing you how large he was. He's made with burlap blanket yarn. Cute, eh? Oh, he was adorable. He was fun to make. There's him sitting down. I should make another one of him. He was cute. Here's a better photo of that doll with the hat. That's a much better photo. Here we go. Some more of the same. I wish you could edit the. That's the thing about the Facebook photos. Once they're on, I'm not sure how to get rid of them. Oh, I guess it says delete photo. I must go through and do that one day. That's a chore for me to do. So my son commissioned me to make his best friend, when she had her baby, an Afghan for the baby shower. So he went out and took me out for the yarn, and I just told him I would do it for nothing. You just buy the yarn. So what my gift was the extra yarn left over. That's what I told him. I said, whatever yarn's left over, that's what I'll just charge you. I'll just keep that yarn for another project. So here's when I start, like was about halfway through, I guess. He wanted it to look like kind of like water, the ocean and sand, and like on a gray day. So the green mimics the ocean water, the brown the sand, and the gray was like the gray skies. So he had this perfect scenario that he wanted the colorways to be. So I think it came out lovely. More slippers, some teeny baby slippers with a pom-pom, then some big male ones with a cuff. I made a few of these. This was also for a cousin of ours. Paw Patrol hat. I've started this project. Oh boy, I better finish this. This is like 4 years ago, and it was meant to be a christening gown, and then I was going to try to sell it. So I think I'm going to finish it and actually just enter it into the fair. But it's like that little Mikey's little sweetie dress on the crochet crowd, but with all the frills. And I showed you one the other day, a pink one, the same, but this one's all in white. This is made with Bernat satin yarn. Here's the hat on that little doll that I showed you earlier. It's a giraffe. Oh, that these ones are upside down. Okay, here's another little hat for Paw Patrol hat. Oh my goodness, I keep pushing that darn button. Paw Patrol hat was the last one. Okay. This one was made for a customer. This is, I forget the name of the, I guess it's a TV show. She just told me about the character, and I found the character, and I went by the look of the character and made the hat pattern myself. Another one, if I could find a right side up. Oh, there's the blanket pattern finished for my son's, well, it says godson, for his baby shower. There it is better with the border on it and everything. I'm almost, it says I'm getting close to my being full. Here's a hat pattern made with number 2 hat yarn, and I held the 2 pieces together. I guess I'll go through the rest on the next video because it's saying that my file is getting to be too full, so I won't be able to load it onto Video Maker if I make it too much longer. So that'll be my 4th part. I will do the next time, so look for that next week. So I hope you enjoyed all these projects of mine. If you have any questions on any of them, like I said, I'll let you know. Any information you would like to know, any yarns I used or where the pattern came from, anything whatsoever, even my sweaters, just let me know down below and I'll get back to you. So happy Monday, everybody, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Keep on staying naughty, and bye-bye.